Go. Record.
Hi, everyone, and thank you for joining us this week from the only D&D game that I know of that is played on a drum kit. We have a new player this week, and we're also letting an old player go. I suppose before we get into that, we should have a quick recap. Last week, I was trying to think how far back exactly should we go?
As far back as you want, but also as concise as you want.
As concise as I want. Okay. So Bass was arrested for inciting a riot and was taken to the jail in Sigil. And after his companion Theodos, his reluctant companion Theodos, was summoned in his place, after a little bit of misfortune, the whole party ended up in the Shadowfell under the care of one Strahd von Zarovich. Maybe you've heard of him. And the party played a game of baseball and then took to the seas of the Shadowfell, where they were attacked by some sort of Leviathan creature. In the midst of that battle, Theodos, the tiefling sorcerer, or the tiefling warlock, was crushed against the side of Strahd's vessel, the Irina. And as such, the paladin who was traveling with the party, who had been soul bonded with Theodos, was also destroyed in a golden halo of light. You're traveling with a kobold that you met in the prison named Copernicus, who was a member of a dragon cult. The dragon's name was Akarath. And the group of you have reconvened on the ship. That is Bast, Theodos, and Copernicus.
Theodos?
I'm sorry. Bast, Copernicus, and Blake Sunny. Blake Sunny has also swam up to the surface, and she has a ring. And she looks a little bit dazed. She's kind of, and she holds up the ring. I found this under the water.
Did you find the kid? Or the dude?
She nods her head and makes a hand motion. And Strahd, from the... I think Strahd was also knocked off the side of the ship.
He could turn into a puff of smoke and get back on.
Yeah, he ends up back on one way or the other. He summons a mage hand to take the wheel, and he takes the ring from Blake Sunny. And when he holds it in his hand, there is a sizzling. You can hear the sound, almost like a charcoal burning in his palm. And he seems not to notice it as he reaches into his pocket. He pulls out a pouch and he drops the ring into it. And there's a little burn, a ring-shaped burn on his palm that quickly heals.
Is that the vampire control ring that he gave? Okay.
No, that was a potion. That was the ring that Blake Sunny found when she swam into the water where Cedric's body exploded into a halo of light. Or, I imagine it's different orbs.
But
it doesn't matter.
But no one tells me that.
No. Blake Sunny is not coherent enough to tell you that.
I give him a slap on the face. Where's the kid and the dude?
And her eyes are just like dials. And Strahd says, it's Leviathan shock. I've seen this before. And he grabs and just sweeps Blake Sunny up.
Okay, it can't have been more than a few moments. So Bass is going to turn to start like running across the deck to dive over and look for them.
Yeah, make a perception check.
That's a 17.
17 is enough. You are able to swim around and you find the floating corpse of Theodos. And even just from when you're able to kind of reach it, you can tell that its bones have been fractured in a really significant way. It doesn't quite feel like a body should in the water there. When you pull up against part of it, it's as if the rest of it just kind of compresses around your hand. It does. There's a lot more give.
Oh,
than a
I
regular
don't like that.
body
I
would
don't
feel.
like that. I don't like it. Wait.
And this is underneath the water, about 20 feet underneath the surface, where the ship has finally been tossed in the midst of it.
Right, well, I'll just try and swim his body back up.
And you do, and when you pull the body back up to the surface, that's when you're able to feel just the ribs of this creature. All of the bones on the inside have just been smushed and crushed into
Don't worry, kid.
yeah. It's not very pretty. Theodos is clearly dead.
Don't worry, kid. The boss will fix you up.
As you're reaching out, you find the pouch containing the Quicksilver.
Yeah, I was
still
for
floating at Theodos's waist.
Yeah, I pocketed that.
What other items, magical items, might you have on you, Theodos? Or just things of note that would be on your person?
So, what I had on me was... I had a quiver, a green quiver, and that quiver was able to hold a bunch of a large assortment of weapons.
Yoink.
As well as like a giant pocket, which I could hold like quarterstaves and spears.
Yeah, I throw that over my shoulder.
That's where I hid Leo too.
Oh, is it a dangling
so you
snake?
peek.
God damn it.
No. Leo's still alive in the quiver.
Oh.
You peek your head into the quiver, and you can see Leo poking its head up, its tail flickering.
I don't like snakes. Please don't bite me.
That's it. Everything I had was in that in that quiver.
Okay.
Yeah, I just throw the quiver over my shoulder and drag his corpse up onto the deck.
One thing of note I decided is that there are a lot of rope hooks along the side of the ship, and Strahd tosses over a black rope. You're able to pull yourself up. He uses sort of magical force to lift the body of Theodos. And he says, This isn't ideal, but it's fine. We'll be able to deal with it.
I had confidence. You're the boss.
And
you fix this kid up, I'm sure we got a bright future ahead of us.
And Strahd says, and that means that you have become the keeper of the artifact.
This old thing? The pouch of Quicksilver?
Strahd nods. There's a serious expression on his face and sort of a resigned sadness. And he says,
no, I don't know if I should be the one to hold it. I'm going to offer it to Blake.
Blake Sunny, actually, you don't see Blake Sunny. While you were down, Strahd took her to his quarters.
Where's Blake?
And Strahd says, just in the ship. It should only be a few more hours until we reach Barovia.
I'll kind of sigh and shrug and shove it back in my pocket.
You do this.
This is sad.
I don't know what you're talking about, Dead Theodos. You're gonna be fine.
Crushed child.
Yeah, you can see that Strahd sort of unceremoniously grabs Theodos by the center of the spine, pulls him up, and the body just like is creased there on his stout wrist. And he takes Theodos into the keep underneath the ship, and there's a hammock that Blake Sunny is resting on the side of the vessel, and inside the ship, obviously, once you're able to make it in after a failed attempt previously, you can see that it's much, much larger on the inside than it appears on the outside. It's a large quarters. There's an organ on the back wall. You can see a number of tables, an alchemical table on one of the corners, a whole kitchenette, and a tall bookshelf. There's also an ornate bed, although Blake Sunny is not on it. She's on a hammock that's been set off to the side near one of the walls. There are beautiful, resplendent windows that actually show what the outside of the vessel looks like, but it's kind of a misproportion.
Okay.
And he just tosses Theodis down on the ground near the hammock where Blake Sunny is resting.
I stomp up to Strahd, and I put my fucking chest to his chest and my nose to his nose. You're gonna handle that body with a little more respect, boss.
And you can see that Strahd is pretty unperturbed, and he runs a thumb across his captain's hat and says, "If you want to continue on the route that you're traveling, you will do well to pay your respects to me."
Likewise.
And he nods his head, and he continues back to the deck.
I know what level you need to be to kill Strahd. I'm not as scared of him.
I'm not that scared of him.
The metagame.
I'm right
Yeah,
at the minimum level that characters start going to fight this fucker.
It's true, but that's you're also just one person at this point.
Yeah, I'll just I'll put a sheet over Theodis, and I'll go lean up against the hammock with Blake.
Yeah, you can see that Blake, she appears to have caught a fever. She's sweating profusely and not quite conscious at present, or half conscious, muttering to herself.
I mutter back. I just lay there, and we just mutter with each other.
Oh, such sharp fangs. Oh, fucking kill you.
Yeah,
Oh.
they're not that sharp. Don't worry. And we fucking sit here.
That's not a really good Blake Sunny impression. I'm sorry, David. I can't do the voice.
Oh wait, yeah. All the frogs, they're so sharp.
Yeah, that's better. Thank you.
He's gonna pull it's gonna pull it back into your throat.
I'll work on it. I'll do my best.
I love that character voice.
Yeah, so after a few hours of sitting in the hammock, I assume, do you do anything else? Time passes.
No. I sit and I wait. It's a boring boat trip.
Yep. And after a few hours, the ocean breaks. You can see, well, there's still a gray countenance that is there over the ocean as it turns into a stream, and you see that you've caught land. You're now traveling through a river. Eventually the water sort of breaks. And Strahd from the deck of the ship calls out, "The river, Ivlis!" And you can just hear it in the cabin.
Okay.
After about 20 minutes of
I'll get
traveling...
up and I'll head up to the deck.
Cool. You do that. And Strahd nods his head. Strahd from the wheel says, "Pull down the sails."
I'll saunter over to the sails, start undoing the rigging.
Yeah, and it's a really user-friendly boat. It's a small vessel. You're able to pull down the rigging, and you float, coast gently through the waters, and you are able to see on either side of you dense, lush, overgrown forests with thickets of vines. You can hear the sound of foxes and wolves howling in the distance. And
Cozy.
then the forest breaks after enough time, and you see wide set fields in all directions, with hills that cut off your view into the far distance. It's getting to be the later half of the day. It's a bit darker, and a light drizzle begins to fall. At a certain point, the river breaks, and you continue through past an island, in the center of which you can see a small shack that's been haphazardly built at the top of a hill. And after another 20-30 minutes of traveling, you can see a number of peasant women who have traveled out to the river. And upon seeing your vessel, they shout out and they scream, "Strahd von Tsarevich has returned to Barovia!" And Strahd waves his hand out at these women, and a dark cloud is conjured over them, and lightning strikes down, and he kills both of them just instantly.
Is that what you
disintegrates
do?
them.
You just
And
indiscriminately
Jesus.
vaporize people in your land? That's not the...
he shouts out, and he says, "You will be reborn as a cockroach, and you will be the same measly peasant. Let all know that Strahd has returned!" And dark clouds begin to billow from the ship, and he points a finger up into the air, and a streak of necrotic energy shoots from his finger, and almost a large, dark, swirling sphere erupts in the sky, and from it, a number of discharges of energy in one capacity or another shoot over the land. And
I am
this-
the ancient.
the sphere continues to rise further and further into the atmosphere. In the midst of the rain clouds, rain continues to pour down. And the echo of Strahd's voice eventually stops carrying, and he looks down at you, and you can see that there's a tortured expression on his face. And he says, "In this realm, I've been gone for 10 years. But I'm back."
Okay. Okay. Can we get on with this? I don't really... You know, honestly, you haven't, explained what it is you're even gonna do with us.
And he nods, and he says, "Well, Theodos I'm able to resurrect, and I'll send you on your way.
Sounds
Your
good.
destination is the Amber Temple,
Why?
and from there, it's the easiest way to get back from whence you came."
Very good.
And Strahd nods his head, and he returns to the wheel, where a mage hand, like a skeletal mage hand, has been keeping it set in the meanwhile.
Hey, boss. Why didn't you vaporize us when we first met?
And he says, "If you want the absolute truth, Bass, I hoped that you might consider a life here in Barovia.
Oh.
Perhaps train, rule."
Oh, Count, that's flattering. But this place is a little dreary. And I'm from Sigil.
You could make this place as you see fit. And if my plan were to come to fruition, it may not appear as the dark place that it has.
Look,
And he waves you away before,
Okay,
as the
okay,
words
okay,
come
you got it. Yep,
into your
yep,
throat,
Bye-bye. Walk it away.
and returns to the ship.
I know
After
when I'm not wanted in a conversation.
another hour of traveling roughly down the river, you make it to a single dock at the bottom of a large valley. And there's a wide hill, and the river continues on, sort of a sloping path that leads up to the top of the cliff, as you would say, or the mountain on which this mountain range in which this valley runs through. And you can see there at the edge of the dock a rather dark, a jet black carriage with a nightmare, a horse with flames running through its mane and tail, at the ready. Strahd, after dropping anchor, pulling out Blake Sunny, who's still in a sort of frenzied daze.
Oh, Blake, we gotta get you some glorp.
And pulling the body of Theodos on a stretcher with
I will
telekinetic
fucking
powers.
carry Theodos's body. I'm not letting Strahd continue to manhandle this this corpse.
Okay, you do that. He directs you to the carriage.
Yeah, and I load up in with Blake and the kid.
Yeah, you do that. And the carriage takes off. You're taken to the castle. The castle in Barovian Castle, right? Eventually you reach a large moat. You can see the castle's, absolutely massive. There's a wall and several spires that are visible even from the inside of the carriage. You're driven through a large courtyard with resplendent natural decorations and a number of beautiful statues. And the carriage halts to a stop at the bottom of a large staircase leading up to a set of double doors. And you're guided through by Strahd von Zarovich himself.
Oh, fucking nice digs, boss.
And he says, "This castle is a tomb. Please."
Yeah, it's a fucking hole if you ask me. God. I mean, never heard of a duster? Come on.
And you walk up the steps to, again, the wide set of double doors, which open automatically before you. And there you can see a 6.5 foot tall, very well dressed in leather armor, elvish man with purple skin and two rapiers at his waist. And as you come into close contact, you can hear the sounds of hundreds of persons screaming, as if in some kind of horrible agony.
Stop. Boss, your friend Can you make that not happen?
He glances over and he says, "This is Rahadin."
Good fucking pleasure. Stop screaming in my ears.
And you can see the elvish man rolls his eyes and he says, "The contingency plan." And Strahd nods his head and takes a bottle of wine which Rahadin had on a silver tray and a box, a wooden box that he carries that is also on that tray. And he directs you through the grand foyer of
Can I get one of
this
those
castle.
bottles? Boss?
And he looks down at you and says, "Do you have a glass?"
Do I have a glass? You don't have any glasses?
He reaches out his hand and he conjures.
I do have a glass. I have a mess kit. I will pull out my personal wine glass from my mess kit if my host doesn't want to offer me one. No, trust me, I'm an alcoholic.
He's already conjured the glass in his left hand.
Oh, double fisting.
And he
Okay.
directs it to you, and he pours you two glasses of wine.
Put my glass away, and then I hold the one he gave me delicately.
It is exquisite, probably the best wine that you've ever tasted.
I downed that first cup in one gulp, so I'm gonna take my time with the second one.
Yeah, and even just the one, like, you feel a little bit sentimental just from the glass. There's something of a sadness that takes over you as you look around the room. You can see a number of large pillars. There's a reddish glow and different walkways in one direction or the other. There's a large staircase, almost a mirror of the design in the courtyard that leads up to another balcony and a set of double doors where Strahd directs you. And you look up and you can see that there are several gargoyles that are glancing around, not pretending to be statues, inquisitively down at you.
I give him a peace sign as I walk up the steps in the direction Strahd indicated.
And yeah, Strahd directs you through these double doors. There's a ornate, unnecessarily gaudy staircase with stained glass windows along the end of it. You can see different scenes of Strahd waging siege warfare, systematically, I guess you would say, overthrowing the land of Barovia and running off with some woman as you climb the staircase further and further.
Weird flex. Okay.
He directs you to a large hallway with sort of plush red carpets, gold details, several suits of armor as you walk through, and more ornate stained glass along either side of the room. Mostly just rose and thorn details.
Boss, this place is fucking huge. Is it really just you two here?
I have several hostages.
Is that what you call them?
Yes. And at the end of this long hallway is a set of double doors. He opens and you find yourself in a grand chapel. Large stone pews are set about in all directions, or set about in rows. There's a long walkway down the center, and at the end there is there's a simple stage with a stone, or not, a
Dais.
stone
Dais.
dais. Yes, that's the word.
Altar?
I'm looking for. Thank you. Yeah, an altar and a stone dais. You can actually see at the far end of the room there is also what looks like a table with just enough space for a body,
Or
several
a young person's
stained
body.
glass windows with the dark details of Bass has probably not been inside a temple of Palor, but what you would
probably not.
imagine is some kind of religious, like very holy roller vibe, stained glass murals with like a beautiful sun.
Here, I'll be
looking over
honest.
a
I'll be honest.
pristine
Bast is
valley.
not looking at them. Bast
That's
is,
fine.
Yeah, Bast is like he sees these beautiful murals, but he has Theodos's meat sack just slumped over his shoulder as
Right.
he's like walking into this cathedral, and seeing, like, I look from Strahd to the altar and I nod, like this where I put the kid.
And yeah, he directs you to the altar.
Yeah, and I go lay him
All
down.
of the beautiful stained glass imagery is lost on you. And yes, and Strahd reaches into his pocket and he pulls out the pouch where the ring was, and he sets it at Theodos's feet. And he snaps his finger, and a little dark portal appears next to him. He reaches his hand in.
Blake, don't
and he
touch that.
pulls-
I'm wondering about Blake
Yeah.
just stumbling around.
Yeah, she's still kind of here. I think that she might end up sort of falling over on one of the stone pews. And eventually, Strahd pulls out a number of magical items. A diadem that he puts on his head, a amulet that he wears around his as like a necklace around his throat, and actually a staff made out of some kind of dark metal. And you can see that the amulet appears to have the image of a sun. And he, conjures the portal away, and he bows his head in a somber fashion. He says, "Stand back, Bast."
I take a step back.
And he sort of waves his hand over Theodos's body, and the ring begins floating above, and it turns itself sideways, parallel to Theodos's body, which slowly begins to float, encased by light, completely encased with light. And from the ring erupts an image of Cedric temporarily. And
Thanks, dude.
Cedric, you have been floating through the midst of an abstract white fog, lost from yourself and your religious conviction, and you suddenly have a moment of clarity. You see the vampire that you were traveling with, and the satyr that you were also traveling with, and also Blake Sunny passed out on a pew. You have this vivid moment where you're in the scene. Do you say anything?
I said thanks, dude.
Yeah, you can hear Bass say.
Thanks for what? What's happening? I have
Oh.
no idea. Where am
Oh,
I?
you died, my dude. So did the kid. I think you're gonna
I'm
help
dead?
us. Yeah, you're dead.
Oh
Sorry.
no.
I knew. I didn't think traveling with us was gonna be a good idea for you, but it wasn't really your choice, was it?
No. I kind of got roped into it in the end.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that, bud. But at least I think you're gonna help us bring the kid back, even though he's kind of like, an impetus behind like why we're here in the first place. But he saved my life once, so I've got to save him back, and you're gonna help me?
Yes, yeah, I'll do my best. Ooh. What do I
And
need to
Cedric,
do?
again, you feel your body begin to disintegrate in
Oh.
fire and light. And you see the image of Theodos, and it's like he sort of breathes in your essence, and you disappear inside of him. And from Theodos, another flood of light bursts, such that Strahd sort of turns away from it and cowers beneath his hand.
I squint and lean into it.
And Theodos, you are reborn on a stone table in a cathedral that smells of brimstone and death. And you look up and you can see these beautiful natural murals that look as if they've been corrupted in some capacity. Like they were once holy places that have been desecrated such that even the way that the light reflects through them has been changed into a more sinister hue.
And then you feel my breath on your face.
And then you see Bast, yeah.
Hey, kid.
And literally the only thing that I remember was being smashed. So...
You don't remember that, no. You just remember falling out of the ship.
Oh, right. And I'm like, how did I get here? Like,
You
where
died,
are we now?
bud. Oh, you died big time. You were like a bag of fucking, I don't know, whatever you make out of ground bones.
I feel like I had a good nap.
Well, that's fortunate.
I'm sore.
Oh, Cedric.
You are. All of
Cedric's-
your joints, when you move them, you just hear...
Like crunching bubble wrap.
Yeah.
Oh.
So
Even your
sore.
ribs.
Cedric's dead. Blake is concussed severely.
Drod
I'm
says
not sure.
Blake is... Yes. She's been afflicted with what they call Leviathan madness. I can keep her here in the meantime, and I'll send her over when she's ready.
Over?
But yes, I can teleport her to you.
I'm not leaving without Blake.
And Strahd says, honestly, this is what's for best. I can teleport her to you anywhere as long as you don't go inside of the Ember Temple.
I want to insight check Strahd that he doesn't have any sort of ulterior motive with this vampire huntress, a friend of ours.
Make an insight check.
15.
Yeah, your insight is that Strahd is, true to his word, and he offers to write it out into a contract. If you don't believe him,
No,
guaranteed by the dark powers.
It's fine. I get it. You have lawyers. Very cool.
And he says, and there's just one more thing.
Yeah, this place's gonna be dangerous. You said it's dangerous, right? I don't know if I want to go in with just me and the kid.
Yes, well, there are different mercenaries and, people, poachers that you can hire. You also have this kobold here, and Copernicus, who's been very anxiously following you along. Yeah.
Look,
Sort of.
I'm never gonna remember you're here unless you, say something, guy.
Copernicus sort of shrugs his shoulders. Kind of awkward.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm
There's-
not going in with just me and the kid. So,
And and he says in Vallaki there are a number of hunters, mercenaries, different guards.
you
that
really
could
don't
hire.
got anybody here
guides.
in this castle?
And the people in this castle are my hostages.
Oh, yeah, you said that.
They will remain as such.
All of them?
And
Cedric.
all of them.
Jesus.
And
Do we have
Strahd
Cedric's body
looks over
here?
to you and he says, Cedric is dead.
I see. I told you that kid. He gave himself up to help bring you back. Not
What do
that
you
he had much of a choice. He never
How
was
did
given
he-
many choices in life, which is sad.
How did he give? I don't.
Apparently he blew up underwater, turned into a ring, and we used that ring to bring you back, mixed with all kinds of whatever Strahd's juju is, so think about that for your future. You were resurrected by a vampire through the means of a holy light Palor god guy.
Strahd nods his head and says, yes, I negotiated with the Morning Lord to bring your life back, and you hold as a gambit the soul of that paladin inside of you. It's why your return to consciousness is not quite so painful.
Wow.
The ring's inside of you.
Strahd, boss, I asked a similar question before. I have to ask again. Why are you doing this? Why are you helping us so much? I love it.
And
it's great.
He says,
Don't get me
this
wrong.
gets to my point. When you travel through the Amber Temple, if you could, there are certain pathways through which you can discover and communicate with certain dark powers that have kept me confined to this god-forsaken shithole in the Shadowfell. And I would like to rejoin the ranks of society in Sigil, even if I'm confined to my own keep there in the city. I'd like way out of Barovia. I'd like to live with a little bit more dignity being stuck here. I think that something can be arranged.
I
think
many realtors in Sigil. I think this is. I think we can do. I think we can work with this. That's not a. That's it. You just want to move to Sigil? Ah, boss, don't worry about it. I got you.
If you can do that for me, then I will make you the master of one of the villages in Barovia.
Look, you wanted to get out of this shithole. You said it yourself. I don't think I want to be a duke of a... You could polish a piece of shit, if we're going to be blunt. You're the one who started. I'd rather have... I don't... You know what? I'll take it.
And you can see that Strahd says no more of it, and there's something of a kind of fury underneath his smirk that you're a bit taken aback by.
Can I roll to not be?
Yeah. Just make a wisdom throw, a wisdom check.
Oh, a nat 1. I pissed myself.
Yeah. Yeah, you can see that something that, like, I think that Strahd might kind of very lightly force choke you for a moment.
Oh, no, don't. I won't get into that.
Just a delicate force choke.
Bass is into it.
And he sort of, he pulls you up a couple of inches off the ground from your neck and drops you, walks to the end of the room and says, you can stay here for the evening.
Yes, please.
Just follow the staircase down. It'll direct you out.
I can sleep in the chapel?
That's what he tells you.
Oh, Jesus. Thought we were better friends than that. God damn it. I know you got nice rooms up there. I don't say this, but I know it's a big-ass fucking castle. I know there's some fucking guest rooms somewhere.
Yeah, and we'll say that you get a long rest, but I need to take a quick, 2-minute break. Use the restroom, if you don't mind.
Same.
I'll be back in a bit.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna do the same.
I've been trying to move us along really quickly until we can get your character introduced.
a lot. I have a turn.
I'm dead? Yeah. Yeah, you're dead.
Should I should I delete my character sheet?
You don't have to delete it. I usually
You
just
just do.
deactivate them and just kind of move them
Oh,
into the
okay.
back roster.
Put on Mark died.
Felt like being able to look back at the characters and stuff.
Oh yeah.
Deactivated.
Not entirely. I think part of me is just fearless there. Yeah. Oh, Cedric, yeah. That'll be interesting.
Yeah.
I'll be like I'll be like a good little angel on the shoulder.
The little angel on a little devil boy's shoulder.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm back.
Hello. Yeah,
Hello.
I've been trying to make the interactions as concise as possible so I can get to your character's introduction.
That's okay. I'm enjoying it.
Good.
It's nice to sort of have the introduction to everything and see how everyone else plays.
Yeah. If it was more than just me.
Yeah.
Well, now we have Travis's character back alive.
So when he like says maybe roll for perception, do you just click the traits at the top?
Yeah.
If you want to do the dice roll.
Yeah, on the sort of in the center of the character sheet, there's the list of all the skills. You can just click the number next to the associated skill.
Is it alright to share my screen?
Yeah.
Okay. So these or
Let me see. Let's see.
Hiya.
hi.
One sec. So yeah, the long box down the middle, where it's like acrobatics, animal handling, arcana. Those are all of your skills. So
you click.
Yeah, you just click the number. Like perception would be +5. You just hit that +5, and it'll throw a die for you.
And
so yeah, so all of the skills down the middle, you can either Derek will be like, go ahead and make me a nature check to find out more about this plant or animal or something, and then you would do that.
Okay.
But sometimes it's more of just a general, make me a constitution check. And
So then it would be that one.
Yes.
Okay.
Now, sometimes you need to make a check to sort of resist an effect of something. Those would be saving throws in the box to the right there. So, like, some effects will make you have to make, like, a dexterity saving throw or a wisdom saving throw, which have slightly different modifiers. If you can see, you're really, really good at dexterity saving throws.
Okay.
Also, one more thing. Go to your features and traits section real quick. And scroll down a teeny bit. Let me see. I'm just trying... I know there's a... Oh, yeah. Uncanny dodge and evasion are really important features for you. If you get hit by an attack and you saw it coming, once per combat round, you can cut the damage in half. So that can happen pretty frequently, and I'll help remind you about that. It can be really easy to forget. And if you ever are forced to make a dexterity saving throw that has anything to do with damage, you take half the damage no matter what, all the time.
Okay. Alright. I think I'm getting the hang of it.
Yeah, just every once in a while, just go glance at that features page. Kind of get familiar with it.
It took me a while just to like sit there and read the. I was sitting there reading like all my spells and like stuff that I could do for ages, That's what I was doing. And like, if there's any downtime where I'm not doing anything, I just had the page open and was reading it. Oh,
That must have been even more difficult having all those spells.
Oh yes, it is. I never recommend people play a spellcaster as their first thing, but I wouldn't dissuade them from it if they want to.
Yeah, it was a learning experience. It's quite difficult.
I always played clerics. I'm just a cleric, kind of like that. I've always that's been my default
like that's what
for
it would be,
anything
I'm-
class.
I mostly play Dungeon Master, which means I like playing spellcasters. Which is
Fair.
why, even though I'm playing a fighter right now, it's still a spellcasting fighter.
And you have a lot of at the very least in combat, your casting really does,
yeah, I've made them synergize
come
with
into
my
the fore.
combat. Like I go
Right.
like double size and mirror image 3 of me around and stuff. It's fun.
Mm-hmm.
But then I'm out of those spell slots.
Very good.
We're still waiting for Travis.
Oh, not to worry. I'm not sure if I'm going to break into it, but I also have a little bit of mead from Scotland.
Oh, I've never had
Just
mead.
living it up. Oh, this one's really nice. It's called Moniac mead.
You know what song just entered my head unbidden? Oh, I know why. I'm looking at a Steam Workshop page, and I'm able to sort it by a time period. And time period 1 week. It's been 1 week since you looked at me.
I loved that song. I heard it in the Digimon movie.
That's where we all heard it.
That's like, yeah. And I was just like, absolutely, that person gets it. I was so young. It's like, yeah.
Did you know the Digimon movie in America was actually just a collection of 3 separate OVAs that had aired in Japan?
No, I had no idea.
That's why That's why it's 3 distinctly different movies that they had to edit with narration together.
Right. I mean, that's crazy. It's so weird how that kind of thing happens.
Also, do you remember the show Angela Anaconda?
No, I don't think so.
It was a WB Kids show thing, and it was I hated how it looked. It was like all cardboard cutout, but like I don't know, it was weird. But it like aired as a short in theaters before the Digimon movie, and I found that out recently, and it blew my mind for some reason.
Oh, that's no. I remember Freakazoid and Animaniacs.
Oh,
and
yeah.
That's kind of it.
I love
like,
that shit.
Oh, it's really good. It actually holds up.
I'm gonna pray to Cedric.
Well, actually, speaking of Cedric, I guess, and me, is that me done for the rest of the session, Derek?
I mean, yeah, technically your essence, your soul is encased within Theodis. Within the strict mechanics of how it would work, that means that you could technically talk in his brain.
Yeah, we did say earlier, I'm like the little angel on his shoulder. On the devil boy's shoulder.
You don't have to roleplay that out if you don't want, but I think that is something that could exist. Yeah, if you have to be somewhere or anything like that.
No, it's just I thought for the sake of the narrative. Yeah,
it is sort of the end. Well, I can't quite say what's going to happen to Cedric's soul, but there will be more things that happen than what has happened, I'll say.
Oh, okay. Oh, in that case, I'll stay if you want me to. If you want me to stay to see this.
I'm also recording it and it'll be uploaded, so.
Yeah, it might not necessarily play out in this session.
Oh, yeah. Fair enough.
Stick around if you want to.
Yeah, you're absolutely welcome to stay, but there's not going to be very much more Cedric action unless you get yourself into the moment yourself. That's kind of up to you.
Go stab that man.
I don't know if I should do that,
Have a
Cedric.
pray Pray to Palor for this.
Okay, I will for you.
Okay, that'll do.
Yeah, you're probably aware from the inside of Theodos of the nature of the dark powers that he took a pact with. A really, really grotesque demonic evil that you would have probably been taught of in your paladin training. Beelzebub is the name of the entity. You probably would be familiar with it. But whether or not you're able to do anything from within Theodos, and whether or not that would necessarily be a good thing for Theodos as a player character in the immediate, isn't exactly resolved. And I think that it makes more sense to let there be kind of that tension floating than for any mechanical or narrative movements to be made at this point. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Well, I guess I guess I'll say goodbyes then, guys. It's been fun.
It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Joe,
It has been
it's been a
lot of fun.
pleasure.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah, of course. And good luck on your next adventures.
Will do, buddy. You'll
And,
always be
May the blessings
inside
of
of
Palor.
me.
Oh no. May the blessings of Palor be with you, of course.
It will be.
Oh. Right, guys. Have a good night, and
All right.
Yeah,
see
you
you
too.
later.
thanks. See you around.
All right. See ya.
Goodbye.
Cool. And in the morning, or yeah, I guess you have 7, 8, 12 hours of rest, as much time as you want or need. Is there anything in particular that you do in your downtime?
No, I mean we're just.
I guess
we're,
you're told to stay in the cathedral.
Yeah.
It's highly recommended to you.
Yeah.
not
I
to
stay in the
leave.
fucking cathedral. Damn it. I won't go wandering around Castle Ravenloft, one of the most iconic dungeons of D&D history.
That is what it's called, Castle Ravenloft. Oh god, I read so much Curse of Strahd, but not that chapter.
Oh, you haven't
Sorry.
read the Castle Ravenloft chapter?
No,
That's
no,
funny
it's
because I
beside
know the
point.
map like the back of my hand, and you've been describing it pretty accurately, and the way that we've walked through it.
That's wonderful. Yeah. Well, I have played as a character in it. But
Yeah.
I mean, I won't go into it. Nonetheless, here's where you are.
I'm going to try and walk around, but it hurts. I have no comfortable position when it comes to getting rest.
I mean,
Um,
Bass can sleep anywhere. He's probably just curled up on a pew near Blake.
Yeah. Maybe the same pew.
I'll go sit next to Blake too. I'll limp over there.
And she continues to sort of mumble in her sleep. Oh, so many boyfriends. Oh. That was a little better.
I don't. So did I die like a badass? Bast?
I didn't see how you died, bud, but I was told that. Well, I was told that the Kraken slammed you up against the hull of the ship like a sack of mushed potatoes.
Is that why I hurt so much?
Yeah, probably.
God, my ribs. In between my ribs are bruised.
Check this out. Real quick. In Tabletop Simulator, you can look at my stream. I've got a map of Castle Ravenloft, and here's the chapel. It's
Oh,
a
cool.
3D map.
Mm-hmm.
That's where we are, huh?
Just for some visual aesthetic.
Yeah.
I can dig it.
Oh my god, the hallway even has suits of armor.
Yep. That, like I said, you were describing it very accurately. Like from the entrance where we met Rahadin, he always comes down the steps here, and then we went straight in.
Yeah. Just insert staircases. Kind of narrative fluff.
Yeah. Once we get our rest in, stretch and whatnot, we're like, all right, I don't want to be here any longer than we have to.
And when you say that, the doors swing open, And inside walks Rahadin himself, and you can instantly hear the sound of a whole chorus of screeching and screaming as if people are being tortured. Theodis, you're
Good
also able to hear
morning.
this. And
Yeah.
Rahadin says, in a totally normal tone of voice in comparison to the screaming, it's been decided that this way is easier. And he takes a little bead from his pocket and he throws it against the entranceway of the room. And you can see a swirling silvery portal appear.
Nice.
Good morning.
Yes. Thank you, Rahadin. And I just get through the portal as quick as possible to get the fuck away from this guy who emanates
The closer
screams.
that you get to Rahadin, the louder the screaming is.
That noise.
And when it feels like it can't get any louder, you do pass through. When it starts to really hurt your ears.
I go through too.
Where are we? Blake. I pull Blake through with me.
Cool, you do that. You find yourselves on the outskirts.
Oh wait, no, I don't. Strahd said that you would. Never mind. I leave Blake.
You leave Blake.
That's right.
Because Strahd said that he would send Blake to us.
Yes, he did
That's
say
right.
that.
And I'd rather Blake get fixed.
Yeah, when you go to take her, you can see that she's still completely incoherent, and you think that she would be more of a liability at this point. So you take her up to the table in which Theodis was reborn.
No, they can lay in
And
a
Theodis-
pew.
Oh, okay, that's fine.
They don't need to lay on an altar. That's weird.
Theodis, you look in your quiver, or no, you can see that Bast has the quiver over his shoulder. You finally sort of get your senses about you,
Hey,
and you
give
also
me a
notice that the quicksilver has been taken away from you, Theodis.
I start rummaging through my bag to
Oh,
find
here
the
you go.
snake
And I
first.
hand him his quiver back.
And I whip out the little flame snake. I go, hey, buddy. And I rest him on top of my horn
And
as I'm rummaging through it.
And Copernicus peeks his head up from the back row where he's sleeping, and he says, "Oh, good morning, everyone. I'm sorry I've been so absent-minded. I really did try and deal with the Kraken. It was a beautiful ceremony, Theodis. It was a little bit sad."
How are you so easily forgettable? It's
I
like
don't-
as
I don't-
soon as I look away from you, you're like a what do they call them? Schrodinger cat.
And he says, "Yeah, I used to have parents, but they just forgot about me."
Oh, jeez.
And yeah, that's what happened to me. That's why I joined the Dragon Cult.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Port-
Where's my
por- por-
quicksilver?
Portal. Our quicksilver is safe. I go through the portal.
Yeah, Rahadin is still standing there, and right. Copernicus goes to the portal. Theodis, I assume you do as well.
Yeah.
And you come to in front of. Well, you find yourself on a road. You can see a number of what look like small residential houses and shacks are lined up on either side of you along the road. And in front of you is the sort of walled off entryway of some village or town. And you can see a figure standing there alone, with another figure having just walked away from them. And this is where we introduce our new player. Would you be able to describe what you look like at a glance, Ruzo?
My character would be about medium build. They'd have dark long hair, obviously a woman, And other than that, there's nothing particularly notable about them. They just look like a human woman.
And
Sorry,
you turn
and
around
we disappeared
and
where? In a village?
in a village somewhere. It's raining really hard. And yeah, you just appear in front of this person.
Ugh. Ugh.
It is actually the village of Valaki.
Oh,
Sorry.
you're good. Hi. You see, so yeah, before you see a top half person with pretty much a vest and some half plate, bright red mane of hair and mutton chops, and the legs of a ram. This big hairy legs of a ram. I'm a satyr.
And then me, I am a tiefling child, but about 13. So about half the height of Bast here. And I have gray skin, yellow eyes, a pair of horns with a snake curled around one that has a flame tail coming off of it. And
red snake.
I mean, red snake. And I have gray robes on. And I just ask, where are we? I feel like we're just rummaging through portals right now.
You would know that this is the west entrance of the village of Valaki. Ruzo.
I turn to greet the two figures that have just appeared on the road, and I take a moment to observe them and take in everything that's just been said. And I suppose I just say that, aren't you two strange traveling companions?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is my lackey, Bast
God
here.
damn it.
I'm Theodus.
I'm not his lackey.
A man of few words, I say.
And this is Leo, and I point to the snake on my horn.
The snake hisses, it sticks its tongue out, which you can see as little flickers of flame at the end of its tongue.
He's a
What
very
brings
warm soul.
What brings you to Valaki?
I kind of put a hand on the kid's shoulder before you like just blurt anything out. We're looking for some assistance. We heard we might be able to find some mercenary work around town. We can pay very well.
I don't know much about that. I'm an adventurer myself. I'm lost in Barovia at the moment.
Oh,
my companion who you just saw walk off, who's an Asimar huntress. We're traveling together for a few days until we parted ways. Safety in numbers, after all.
Why'd you part?
She had her own reasons for coming here, and they didn't match up with mine.
Wait.
I'm also looking for work.
Well, I think you're in luck. We're not from here either, and we're planning on getting out also. Is that your plan? It sounds like your friend wanted to be here. Well, that's weird, but you want to get out.
I do. I'm trying to get to Sigil.
Oh, I'm from Sigil. So
really?
That's actually where we're gonna try to hopefully get back to. So that's convenient.
Yeah, we're all in the same boat. Come, you can be one of my new lackeys.
No.
You can hear the sound of trumpets blaring on the other side of the stone wall.
Are we outside or inside the gates?
You are outside of the gates, but the gates are swung open.
I will
and in
say,
the distance, you can hear the sound of trumpets and revelry.
we came across some distributors of wine on our travels here, my companion and I. They mentioned there was a festival going on, the Festival of the Laughing Man.
That
They said
sounds
it's
lovely.
well, the distributors I met didn't seem to think so.
Oh.
But wine and festivities.
This place looks like it could use a bit of that.
I have reason to believe it may be something of a purge, a night of revelry and criminal activity. We might be in danger.
Threaten me with a good time.
This sounds like fun.
Everything you're saying makes this place sound more and more badass.
Well, I have some wine we can share that I picked up on my travels.
What was your name again, friend?
Ruzo Sorrowbrook. And yours?
Bast.
That's my lucky.
I punch you in the shoulder. I punch you in the shoulder.
My eyes get puffed up. It hurts so bad. It is. I am so raw.
Traveling associate.
Ah.
Ow.
I was going to say you're quite young to be a boss.
That's what we told him. He insisted that he was like in his 30s or something, but turns out he had memories implanted in his head by one of the more powerful Burks in Sigil. He is you're just a kid.
There's a lot of people talking in my head right now. Cedric, I know.
Okay?
God.
No, probably not. Let's get drunk. Let's get drunk.
Cedric wants to get drunk too.
The wine that your traveling compatriot shares with you is okay, although after having the vintage that Strahd von Zarovich himself sipping on, you feel a little bit neutral.
I don't say anything about it. Thank you.
You're most welcome.
Of course.
Bast is not picky when it comes to wine. Like you said earlier, this is the best wine you've ever had. As if Bast hasn't had good wine in Sigil.
Oh no, there's definitely good wine in Sigil, but Strahd von Zarovich himself, right? That's what I'm looking for. Cool. So yeah, you make your way into the city, and you can hear the sound of revelry in the distance. Like I said, trumpets playing energetically, and laughter, almost hysterical, overwhelming laughter.
Sounds like they're having a good time.
Sounds like someone's having too good of a time.
It does sound a bit forced.
Go check it out.
Yeah, we're just passing the bottle between us as we stroll through town.
Yeah, so you continue to make your way through the streets. You can see a number of Victorian style, I guess this is Edwardian, isn't it? Not that it matters. Old style houses set about in the streets. On your left, as you pass through, there is a cathedral, which is vacant as far as you can tell. And eventually, at sort of one of the major intersections of the road, you can see masses and masses of people gathered. And you can see that there's almost a little bit of space in the middle of the person. Someone is holding a large pole at the top of which there's a wicker ball from which a purple smoke appears to be bathing over this crowd. And as you get closer to the parade, I need you all to make wisdom saving throws.
Oh? Saving throws?
7.
Wisdom saving throw.
3.
Why isn't it rolling? Hold on.
No worries. And you are alive now, Theodis, so you can change that if you like.
Oh, you can give yourself the full
Oh, I
rest.
I did.
Oh, good, good.
I have max HP right
Roll.
now.
Oh,
I just
natural
might have
1. That's a 2 for best.
All three of you fall down prone in hysterical fits of laughter. And you sort of just roll around and become this ambient cuddle puddle as
God.
you fall, as you roll yourselves off the main path into a patch of grass in front of some random building. You can see people coming in and out at various points, but you pay no attention to it all. You're just caught in this hysterical laughter, and the three of you look around at each other.
Tears in our eyes.
Just yeah,
And
yeah,
fear. Tear and fears in our eyes.
absolutely.
hurts
And
to
the
laugh.
sound of strangely triumphant trumpet music bursts around you. But eventually, whoever's playing trumpet kind of drops their instrument, and you can just hear them crack out into hysterical laughter. And they fall
Make it
down
stop!
amidst all of the rest of the people. And you see the vague outline of another tall human figure who appears to have some kind of black mask on his face, and he says, "Yes, we should all be merry soon, and all things will be well."
I
Yeah,
wanted to
Do we?
stop.
So yeah, continue to describe this to us because we keep laughing.
The parade continues around you. You can see persons dressed in ornate jesters' outfits. There are a number of people who have face masks on, which appear to be made of skeletons or bones. There are people who are playing xylophones, kind of passing in through the street. I like to imagine there is at one point just an outbreak of people who spontaneously do the banana boat song.
I
What?
think maybe something was in the wine.
Come, Mr. Tallyman,
Yeah.
tally me banana.
Exactly that
Like
song. The
grown men,
it
we won't go
famously in Beetlejuice.
Songs
and
about plantation work.
It is about plantation work. That's true. And you can see that a number of the rather ragged-looking villagers and townspeople continue to go along with the motions of this festival, but behind their laughter, there's something of a dark sadness and a hopelessness that you're able to glean, although in the moment, caught up with the very, very strong effect of this neurotoxin that you've all been subjected to, it seems like the funniest thing in the world. And the three of you just continue to laugh and laugh and laugh as the parade passes you, and the rain continues to beat down until about an hour passes.
Jesus.
And you still, and you sort of come to, like, look at each other.
As soon as it's, I like laugh. My laugh dwindles from the. I'm just getting angry. Just start getting really angry.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just doubled over in pain just from laughing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm crying.
your ribs probably really hurt, Theodis.
I'm crying right now. My eyes are swollen. Is it over?
And you look up and you can see that the building you're in front of has a little sign in front of it with a mill. You can see that it's the Blue Water Inn, which Ruzo, your traveling companion, said would be the place where she was staying for the evening.
Ah. Yes, Calliope.
Yes, inside you can hear the sound of flute music and lutes playing and conversation.
I stumble to the door of the building.
What about Theodis and Bass?
Oh yeah, we're going up with her.
I'm gonna kill that person who made me laugh so hard.
I assume we go in.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do. You can see the band plays on the stage off to one side. There are several tables that are made up with different travels, locals. There's a lot of standing. There's a standing crowd here at the Blue Water Inn. Various tables with food. It doesn't look like there's anywhere, obviously, to sit down at present. There's a bar at the end of the room.
Oh yeah.
Can I look?
Go ahead.
Can I look around and see if I can see Calliope in the crowd?
You don't see Calliope, no.
Okay. My companion, I think she was in a room B4, B5.
4B, yes. She told you that it was on the outside scaffolding of the building. And from the front, you can see that there is a second story, like in the back of the building, there's like a deck more rooms are kind of built into, but it's separated from the bar itself.
So we have to leave and then go out, or
You can see that there's a back door next to the bar, by which you would presumably be able to go out there.
I sit down at the bar.
Yeah, you work your way up to the bar. People kind of move out of your way. There are open seats. Theodis, I assume you follow.
I'll join them. Just because I don't want to be on my own after laughing that much.
Yeah, that's fine. An older human male sort of greets you. Yes. Welcome to the Blue Water Inn. What can I get for you?
Whatever. Something clear. Do you have anything clear?
Yes, there are some grain spirits here. They're
Please.
not very good, though.
Do they... Now, when you say not
Yes.
good...
No, I just mean that they're very...
Strong? Sounds like they're great to me. I'll have some.
And he nods his head, and he reaches under, and there's a black bottle. He hands you, or he puts wooden wine goblets down, 3 of them, and he pours tall shots in each of the wine glasses. Yes, it will be 2 silver pieces for that.
I lay a gold down on the table for him.
He puts his hand over the gold, looking around almost as if someone else at the bar might take it. And he pulls it back.
Mm.
Thank you.
We'll leave the bottle. And I leave another gold.
He leaves the bottle down, and you can see that it's only about just over halfway filled. But
I'm not making change.
it is grain spirit, and he nods and says, "If you need the room or anything else, just let me know."
Okay. Boom. Pour.
Yeah, bottoms up, everyone.
So, where are you from originally?
I gulp down the shot and I just say, Oh, I don't really remember. I walked through some fog to get here, but I don't remember much beyond that.
But where you come from, there's like a flat ground with um, grass stuff, and then a whole bunch of sky overhead. That's what it's like where you're from.
Well, I'd hope so.
Okay, just cool. Well, it's not like that where I'm from.
Oh,
Me, yeah, it's not like that.
You're from where we call the prime material. But we don't have to get into that.
well, I look
Sigel's
forward.
at the middle of everything. Like all like planes of thought and existence.
That sounds like a lot.
It is. Don't be
The city of doors.
if we do get to Sigil, don't take it too hard if a ton of people yell at you calling you a clueless Burke.
Ah,
Don't take it too hard.
I
They
take it that happens often.
only to yes.
Outsiders.
It's a nice it's a place. Sigil's a cool place. You just gotta learn how to jive with it.
It's a busy place.
Well, why you want to get to the why you trying to get to the cage? We call it
To
the
the
cage
Sigils.
sometimes.
Why do you call it that?
Oh, cause it's not a cage for the people who live there. It's a cage for the lady, a pain, who resides over the place. Most powerful.
Copernic, you can see at this point. Oh, and the whole time, by the way, there was also a kobold dressed in sort of tattered brown robes.
Little dragon lizard man.
Yeah, who was just kind of been tailing along. I want to say his tail's practically between his legs the whole time. He seems very nervous.
Oh yeah, this is Schrodinger.
It says, I
Schrodinger.
I really didn't introduce myself. I'm Copernicus. Yeah, Sigil's a tough place. All right, I'm gonna disappear again now.
I look around surprised and say, was he always here?
Who?
Oh, yeah, a lot of people say that about me.
Well, yeah. Well, why are you trying to get to Sigil?
I've just heard that it's the place to be.
Well, it is definitely a place to be. Don't get me wrong.
How did
I wish I was
you...
back in Sigil.
It's full of portals and doors. It's like
These two broke me out of prison,
Yeah,
Copernicus says.
it's full of portals and doors. It's kind of its shtick. The only way into Sigil is by knowing the location of a portal that leads to it. You can't teleport into the place. You can't teleport out of the place. You have to use one of the many doors, which is why it's called the City of Doors. I think, I don't even remember at this point, we accidentally fell through a portal, which happens, but, you know, I'd gone a good 37 years without falling through any portals that got me too far from home, but here I am.
Is that how you came to be in Barovia?
Yes.
And I assume there's one nearby if you're in Baloki.
We have it on good authority. The location of a portal that may lead back to Sigil.
There's a sound of lightning in the distance.
You're not from here, right?
I'm not, no.
Right. I like look around. I'm like, well, everyone else here is. So I'll tell you more when we have like a room or something. We can.
You can see
discuss
that there's
privately
an old man who's been very obviously listening on a
Yeah,
in on
I'm
your
unabashedly
conversation.
like open about the extra planar Sigil stuff, but I'm not gonna let anyone know who I've been fucking buddy with for the past couple
And this
days.
wrinkled face old man says you talk of portals and outside places
Yeah.
in our small
Yeah.
village.
Yeah, sorry.
You
I'll try not to
come
blow your little
in-
minds.
You out of towner.
Oh my god.
Not even the same kind of creature.
I
and
pick
yet
up the bottle and I
you-
start going upstairs.
Yeah, he continues to talk at you as you do that. You find yourself in a hallway, or a small. It's not even a hallway. It's a pathway that leads out onto a balcony.
That's right. No,
There's a
yeah.
door.
I stand up and I look for the barkeep, and I'm like, I'll take that room.
It says, "Yes, we'll say you've already paid for it. Here is a door. You're in room 2A."
If y'all want to come hang out, I'll buy y'all rooms also, but we can still talk a little more away from prying lips. I hear you, old man.
You think you can just come into my town?
The doors were open.
You know nothing of Barovia and this struggle.
I
Trust
assume
me.
we all follow you to the
Yes,
room.
yes.
at this
And as
point.
I'm like reaching the top of the stairs, trust me, I'm beginning to understand what a struggle it is to be here. People like you, jeez. Go up into the room, shut the door, lock it.
Yeah, you step out onto the balcony. Your room is third one. And all of you have your own, or we'll say that there is just we'll say that there are 2 beds and a couch in this bedroom
Cool.
for our purposes.
Yeah, I'll lounge on the couch. Okay, so you're not from this place. You're not full of its superstitions, right?
I'm unaware of its superstitions in a way.
That's good. Okay, so there's a
I've heard.
Hmm?
I've heard mention of the Morning Lord.
yeah, he doesn't get much. He doesn't get through here. His calls don't make it very far. I don't think.
Theodis, you can feel your heartbeat increase at mention of the Morning Lord.
Though sometimes I guess he does pop his head in. The power that be here is actually a vampire lord known as Count Strad von Zarovich. Everyone here is absolutely terrified of him, and probably for good reason. I think he keeps this place under like an oppressive iron fang. He's apparently been gone for about 10 years, but I know he's back.
Oh.
Oh shit. Oh, these people probably don't even know that yet. Oh shit. Whatever. Anyway.
That was a bit of a bomb to drop.
Oh well, yeah, he's back.
There's
But I
another
know-
flash of lightning in the distance.
But I know a way out
You,
for us to get back to Sigil.
you met Stroud and you survived.
I didn't say that. Did I say that? I
Well,
just
how
said
do you know he's back?
I mean, the lightning strikes every time I say his name.
Yeah, I feel a little pain in my chest.
Okay, yeah. Look, listen. Yeah. I met the guy, all right? I met him when he was on vacation. He was pretty chill. We played baseball. We went out sailing. We went boating. We went fishing. It was really awesome. He's a really he could be a really cool guy, okay? Listen, but he's back here now. But what that means is he's not gonna fuck with us. He could be like we're cool.
I think I understand.
He's got one of our friends right now, a vampire hunter from Sigil. He said he's gonna heal her of her Kraken madness.
A vampire taking care of a vampire hunter?
Yeah, I know. It sounds insane when I say it out loud.
It does a bit.
I did an insight check. Oh,
I'm sure she'll be fine then.
fuck. Oh, fuck. Fuck. I don't want to go to this temple and I'm fucking because I don't want to go to this temple and find our portal out and not have Blake with us. Because we get there and Blake hasn't been like teleported to us yet. At that point, I'm gonna have to be like, "Well, let's turn around and go back to Castle Ravenloft and go get Blake."
Yep.
But we're already gone from Castle Ravenloft. We're already like on that path. So I guess all I get to do is hope that Strahd's a man of his word, and by the time we get to the portal out, Blake will be with us. And if they're not, we've got a long trek back to the castle. Then you'll have a portal out. You can go. You're good to go. No obligations. You know what I mean? Like,
I'll take that into consideration.
fuck. I drank
From what I've-
more from the
There's
bottle.
another crack of lightning in the distance.
I start looking around, and I start putting my ear up to the wall and like searching for little holes that eyes might be peeping through or someone listening. I open the door to the hallway and I knock on the door next to ours.
Yeah, and an old man in a sort of a very strange, almost circus performer's outfit opens the door. You can see he's bald, but he has a ring of white hair.
Sir, we are trying to get
and
some rest
small set glasses, and he says, "Yes."
in here. Sir, we're trying to get some rest in here. Please, if you wouldn't mind, keeping it down.
I've just seen a portent into the future.
Oh, fucking...
This land bathed in the sunlight once again. How can it be?
Has it not been sunlight for, I don't know, a decade now?
Hundreds of years.
Like I
Not
said, old
authentic
man, keep it
sunlight.
down. We're trying to get some rest in here, alright?
Yes, I suppose that is most appropriate. Good day.
Good day.
Go back and close the door, go back in the room. I just wanted to make sure who's around us.
Creepy.
Would that message have anything to do with Stroud coming back?
Message? What, did he say something? I didn't hear him.
Something about dark portents.
Look, I've heard a lot of people say a lot of kooky, barmy stuff about dark portents in my day. I kind of tune it out.
You probably have heard some really insane street prophets, Bast. Some really, like, the lady's gonna return to rule over the land of Sigil.
And then
Kind of insane.
And then those people get executed by worm or fall into a maze and disappear.
A lot of them do end up coming to public trial, and you've seen the worm executions of prophets that you've seen.
Love
Definitely.
me a good worm execution. It's always a fun time.
It is always a fun time, yeah. They have little worm sausages that they hold on spits that are shaped like the worm.
Just think of Bast as just very much like a local New Yorker type, but for this extra...
Very jaded.
Yeah, but for this extra planar city
Exactly.
where every single race in existence lives.
Peacefully.
For the most part.
Yeah.
Alright, well... I'm not tired. I just woke up about an hour ago. Or no, a couple hours ago.
Yeah, it's still well, you were in the midst of that festivity. I
Right,
suppose
yeah, no,
it's
you
only
were
about,
right.
What, 10 or 11 o'clock in the morning?
You were right. The festival sucked. Do we have any reason to linger in this town?
Not that I know of.
You don't
Unless
have
we
any-
speak to my companion Calliope and
Let's-
see what she knows.
Right. So let's find your friend and maybe a map or some directions to a place called the Amber Temple.
Okay. So we go up to room 4B.
You do. You knock on the door?
Yep.
And there's no response.
Try knocking again.
Still nothing.
No, I put my ear up to the door and just kind of listen.
Make a perception check.
God dang it. 7.
As far as you can tell, there's no one on the inside.
As far as I
But
can
there
tell.
are still the sounds of the festivities going on in the streets and the swarm or parade of persons sweeps again by the Blue Mill. It's a rather small town.
Is there
Are
a
you
keyhole
sure
or something we can see into the room?
There is a keyhole. You're not able to clearly see anything through it.
Are we able to tell if there's a light on?
No, not distinctly.
You sure-
It's
You sure your friend's even here?
She said she'd be.
I try the door. I try the handle.
the door's unlocked, and you step into the room and find it empty. It's a empty hotel room. There is there's a menu on a desk, with the day's specials.
I just
No one inside. No sign that there's anyone staying here.
absentmindedly flip the menu over. Say, you want to rummage around your friend's hotel room? Doesn't look like they're occupying it. Maybe they left something.
I huff and put my hands on my hips and say, well, this is depressing.
You can make an investigation check if you want.
I will do that.
I won't do that.
Yeah, I just kind of look over the menu.
14.
Give me 1 second. You look under the bed and you do find a pouch with something inside of it. Let me just figure out what that is.
I love these 3D maps. They're so fun.
It
yeah,
is
they
really
are.
cool.
They're pretty nice. Derek, sadly, I am gonna have to get off in a little bit.
That is
Sorry.
okay.
Sorry to cut
I
you off.
might have to go soon as well.
Yeah, we usually end a little sooner than this anyway.
So you find a key with an eye, sort of where the handle of it is, underneath the bed on the side of one of the slats. And you hold it up and look around to your party members. And we'll say that that's where we'll stop today.
Excellent.
Okay.
Alrighty.
That was a lot
The
of
key
fun.
is the cliffhanger. Yes. Not a whole lot of action today, but I didn't die.
There was
Oh.
no action, but at the very least,
There were some
I feel
cool
like
scenes.
the resurrection scene was really, really interesting.
I thought Strahd sailing back into Barovia was kind of cool. Little heavy-handed with the striking, smiting down the villagers on the shore.
I wanted it to be a little heavy-handed.
yeah.
I sort of imagined there needed to be a sense of the way that Strahd is so much different outside.
Well, in my
versus
head,
inside.
his voice was echoing. Like I gave him a couple extra lines in my head. Like he has to say, "I am the ancient. I am the land," as it echoes across the mountaintop and shit.
Yeah, that's fine.
That was cool.
Very interesting. Yeah, I feel like this is a really good point for next week. Hopefully everyone will be able to make it, but even if not, it's been really good. I suppose that we should
Oh.
end our recording now.
Bye bye, recording.
Thank you, everyone.